Thank you, everybody. Sorry about that delay there, and I appreciate your patience as I get things started. So appreciate that formal uh, introduction to me here, but I thought I would also share just a few other tidbits. So yes, you mentioned that I'm the past president of the Rotary Club of Winnipeg Charleswood from 2018 to 2020. Married 22 years this June, and I'm also a mother of two children, Anya and Artem, whose ages are 13 and 11. I'm a manager with Manulife Bank, and I manage a team of 15 mortgage specialists right across the whole entire country. So I'm working through my lunch break here to share this time with you all. Co-owner of Northern Canine, which is my husband, and I started this business of dog training. My husband's a dog trainer, not me. And we board dogs at our property here. And then I'm also, we mentioned, the co-host of the Talking Rotary podcast with Peter Tong. And now the project lead for the Bridge of Hope Ukraine, which takes up majority of my time. So that's what I'm here to share with you today about. So we're all seeing the devastation in the news about what's happening to the beautiful people of Ukraine. But for me, I felt shock and empathy beyond words. My husband and I were just in Ukraine in June of 2021, and then again in October of 2021, as we were there for the sole purpose to adopt our two children. So these pictures were taken just a couple of hours after meeting our adopted children, Anya and Artem, for the very first time. And aside from our immediate connection, what was most special in all of this was that Ryan and I were sharing our 20-year wedding anniversary on that exact day. So it was a pretty incredible gift to receive two beautiful children as an anniversary gift. We couldn't have imagined it to be any better. We decided to share our story publicly, our adoption story. So in order to help educate others in the process of adoption, really with hopes that people would consider adopting children of all ages, because most people, when they think of adoption, they think of adopting babies, but really there are children of all ages that need homes. And so we've shared our story publicly. So if you're interested in learning more about that story, welcome to visit our website, which is journeytoadopt.com. But I'm here today to talk about Bridge of Hope Ukraine and the family support project that we began as a Rotary Club as soon as pretty much right after the war broke out. So at the beginning of the war, I received a text from Artem and Anya's Aunt Luda in Ukraine. So we're still in contact with some of the family of theirs in Ukraine. And both Luda and her husband Roma are in the military serving. And their three children at that time were staying with friends while they serve. She wrote to me at that time asking if the conditions worsen in Ukraine, would it be possible to send the children here to Canada for safety? And this is where the start of the Bridge of Hope Ukraine Family Support Project began. So those children still remain safe in Ukraine. They're not going to be coming to Canada as far as we can see, but that could still possibly happen. That's still, we did start all the paperwork and the process to make that happen. So we have power of attorneys and all of this type of stuff in place should we need to send the children over. But at this point, it doesn't look like they're coming right now. So the project is just that. It's supporting families and children in Ukraine in need of safe temporary homes, as we are seeing with many of these Ukrainian families coming here to Canada. It's been quite an overwhelming experience working with the Ukrainian refugees here in our city, and overwhelming if any of you have visited the hotel near the airport where they were initially being housed until they could find proper housing. But I got emotional walking in there, hearing all the Ukrainian language being spoken around me, and it was completely flooded. Like the whole entire place has been taken over with Ukrainian refugees. So it's pretty overwhelming when you see everyone in one spot like that. It really does bring the whole situation to light. So our fundraising efforts, that's pretty much what happened. Was when we found the need, okay, we may be potentially needing to bring over these children over. We did end up actually bringing a family over as well. And so we just needed to fundraise. So the very first thing we did was we put on a dinner fundraiser back in April. So just a year ago, we raised over $12,000 at that dinner fundraiser. And we had local members of the community, city councilors, MLAs, and MPs present at that event. We had a local Ukrainian Okeshets choir also came to perform, and it was an evening really full of memories and impact to all those who attended. I normally would play the clip here now, but we're short on time, so I'm just going to breeze past that. We also have local Winnipeg business who previously actually shared at our Rotary Club, Red Rebel Armor, and they did the screen prints of these t-shirts. I'm also wearing one today. With the unique Canadian-Ukrainian flag design that my husband actually designed. So in addition to this, we had a local baker sell cake pops, and total proceeds all went to the Bridge of Hope Ukraine. And in total, we raised over $2,000 just from these two items alone. So massive fundraising efforts that we put on to make everything happen. And we also collect online donations too. We've collected, and now it's over $90,000 in our online fundraising that we've done there. So in total, we're well over $20,000 now in our fundraising efforts for this. And now that brings us to what the project has really shifted towards. So instead of, I shouldn't say instead of, it still could happen, but more, we realized that we weren't in a position to bring more families over anymore. So what are we going to do with the funds we've raised, and how are we going to continue to support Ukrainian refugees? So we shifted our focus to furniture. And this is also a very interesting story how this all happened. This all happened after my sister introduced us to Jane, who was a Ukrainian refugee at the Winnipeg airport in August. She was sitting beside my sister on a flight from Vancouver to Winnipeg. My sister was flying up to meet our children for the very first time, actually. And so she's all excited getting off the plane, my sister, and she says, "This is so great to meet you again, meet the children for the first time, but there's somebody you need to meet." Okay. So then she introduces me to Jane, Oksana, and Oksana's sister, Ina, who's Jane's in the middle there, Oksana in the black to the right, and then Ina to the left in pink. And these three ladies came over from Ukraine. Jane and Oksana were best friends. They worked together in Ukraine. And Ina in the pink is Oksana's sister. So they fled Ukraine. Their husbands, Oksana and Jane, are married. Their husbands are still over in Ukraine, unable to come. And they came here with their two sons that are 17 years old. And so met them, and I stayed in contact with them immediately, exchanged numbers, and helped them along the way with just little things, even like, who should we get for internet, and who should we get a cell phone through, and just little pieces that we take for granted. That's just easy in our day-to-day lives to figure that stuff out. They needed some direction where to go, so we were able to help support that. And then I said to Jane, I said, "Well, Jane, once you get into your apartments, let me know and we'll help you out." And so she had texted me and said, "Okay, we've got possession now of our apartment. We'll be in about 2 weeks' time." Great. I said, "What do you need?" And she said, "Probably just a bed and a kitchen table would be good." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what do you already have?" And that's when she said, "Nothing." I said, "Well, you're going to need more than a bed and a kitchen table." So we put it together. We spread the word out. Did old school like poster flyers in the Headley and Charlwood neighborhoods. We also went online and posted that we needed donations of furniture, and the response was overwhelming. So within 2 weeks, we were able to collect everything that these ladies needed for their 2 apartments, including like dishes, everything, towels, you name it. Like, they're fully furnished apartments. We did that all in a matter of 2 weeks. And then we noticed that the need just kind of kept, well, not the need, but the donations kept coming in, and we didn't have families to give it to. So now I'm in a position of like, we've got all this furniture coming in, and I know that there's families that need it, but how do we get it to the families? So I reached out to Jane and said, "Okay, Jane, send out to your community, post something and find out who needs furniture. She did that and sent, and our email inbox started to get flooded. So within a couple of days, I said, Jane, take it down, whatever you did. I don't have that much furniture. So we had to kind of shift gears. And so she did that, and we sat down with a church here that's actually in Springsteen Mennonite Church. They've really partnered with us in this whole project of helping the Ukrainian refugees. And so we sat down with them and kind of figured out how can we make this actually work, like as an ongoing service project. And we kind of put our heads together and figured out a plan. So that's where we're sitting now. We're now shifted to a focus of 100% free store. So we have a space that's been donated to us at the CMU office location. We don't spread that word out because we don't want individuals just showing up at the CMU offices. It's on only like on an invite basis and only on the days that we are doing the furniture drives. So initially we were doing furniture drives every 2 weeks. We now over the summer months, we're just going to do one a month over June, July, and August. Just it's difficult to get volunteers out on Saturdays over the summer months. So yeah, this is our 100% free store. We set up everything, all the donations, kind of like a thrift store is what it kind of feels like. And in the morning, we invite our families to come in and shop. So you'll see here, this is one of the ladies from the Springsteen Mennonite Church, Ina. She's with a family there. So we have a volunteer that is a volunteer shopper. They take the families through the store. We have their items that they've requested ahead of time. So we kind of help them find those items in the store. And then we move the furniture out. And you'll see here, the next thing we do, so we have it all piled, we put stickers on, each family gets their own colored sticker, and they put their stickers on their items, the movers move everything into piles, and then we deliver those out to the families. We invite typically about 10 to 12 families every 2 weeks, or that's what we have been doing. And sometimes we've done even as high as 15. And then in the afternoon, we pick up donations. So our delivery trucks go out to deliver the furniture, and in the afternoon, we're bringing back the donations so that we are then sorting our donations and filling up our store. You can see some friendly, familiar faces in these pictures. Dave and Nancy Morris, I'm sure most of you are familiar with them. And Chuck from our club as well. And Glenn, our club president, is also in that picture. So we are all busy moving things in, sorting the donations out, and getting things ready for the next time. The volunteers come in and they work 9 to 12 shifts or 12 to 3, and many are actually working the full 9 to 3 day. And depending on the length or how much work and how many volunteers we have had some days where we've gone as long as 6 o'clock at night. Just because of the overwhelming response. So Jane's there in the picture in the red with me there. She's been absolutely instrumental in connecting us with the families, as I mentioned, and also being there to help translate. She's gone on several deliveries, helping out every time. She helps out with her 17-year-old son and his friend that also came in from Ukraine. They come every single time they volunteer in this free store. It's just been overwhelming, and it's been such a joy to work alongside with her on this project. She's just so thankful and wanting to give back. We've had some incredible stories of mother and daughter sleeping on the couch together. They had absolutely nothing but a couch, and then we came in and were able to get them everything that they needed. Another woman was so excited to get a sewing machine because she was a seamstress back in Ukraine, and now she's looking to start a business here of sewing again. And then we have a lot of families that volunteer with us. So they receive furniture from us, and then they come back and they volunteer. And Horace is seen in this picture here, holding the cake. He came back to thank us with a cake, and then he volunteered for the rest of the afternoon with us. And then he came back 2 weeks later again to volunteer with us. So it's really continuing to grow. And we also had 25 computers were donated from Computers for Schools Manitoba, and we've been able to offer those to families as well. You know, a very special moment was a boy who is about 10 years old, who was translating for his parents there while they shopped in the store, and he found out he was getting a new computer. He was so excited. He started leaping for joy all around the parking lot, smiling, and he kept running up to us and saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And it was just a really heartfelt moment, as you know, the mom and dad had also thanked us with tears of joy in their eyes. So these are the stats, which I'm so incredibly proud of. We've started doing these furniture drives, as I said, with Jane in October of 2022. We've helped a total of 98 families. We've supplied them with furniture and household items, over 110 pickup locations we've done across the city. And currently there's over 215 families on our wait list. So the need continues to grow. We were always kind of sitting around 60 families on our wait list, and now it's over 200. So the need is definitely there. And I just want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to share with you about the project today. There's more information on our website, which is bridgeofhopeukraine.com. And if you know of anybody who wants to donate furniture, there is the link directly on our website that you can go to and click the donate furniture button. And then we are only offering pickup at certain locations in the city right now. So just keep that in mind. But we prefer everybody just go directly on the website, fill out the forms, because it makes it easier on our end rather than responding to emails. So if you know of anybody that's interested, or anybody interested in volunteering with us, our volunteer opportunities are also there on the website. So thank you so much for that. I'll open it up to questions if anybody has.
Thank you, Mandy.